I took a look at some of these and just had a few little things that I see that I would like to comment on. That's a nice curve. I really like that curve. The first thing I see here is I like the bottoms, and when you see a dovetail bottom, it's as if they left the expansion space in there for the chuck. So I would probably like to reverse turn this and make a nice foot of some kind that doesn't have a dovetail, like a jam chuck or a dovetail chuck space in there.
What size is
that? Looks like it came right off the chuck, expansion chuck. That fit right in there, wouldn't it? One other thing, we've talked about using coffee grounds or rosewood dust. And I just take a sanding disc and I grind up rosewood dust. And it's real fine and it's really hard. It actually reacts with the super glue, the CA thin glue. And I'll just rub. We have a number of cracks here that could develop and open up at some point. This crack here I would just pack with rosewood dust, and I would drop some thin super glue in there. And then I would just take some 400 sandpaper and I just seal that up completely. Same with, there's a little crack in the bottom here, and there's one on the side. So I would just pack rosewood dust in there and then just drop a little CA thin super glue and seal those completely, and then you can't even see it with the oil. So, but that's a very nice shape, and I like the rim part. These two, one's from Bob Royce and lacquer, right? Lacquer finish. Ray Key is known for the pop top, and this is beautiful. This is a really nice piece. Perfectly fitted top. You know, that's a gorgeous piece. I like the shape and the curve and Bob signed it on the bottom, so that's a really nice piece.
How dry was the work?
It was very dry.
Yeah, it was killing dry. You should when you're using a box.
When you can get a box, this is really hard to do, actually, get that pop top, you know, where you can hear it pop. So that is, and it'll stay like that. It won't change. That's beautiful, and Todd did one that's really nice too, and that's got this is a little tighter, but it's got a serious pop. So you know, and that takes a lot of patience to get that perfectly fitted in there. So this looks like it has a mineral oil finish, or
yes.
Okay. Beautiful detail inside. You know, Todd took the time to finish it and make it decorative, and the bottom is nicely.
That's an engraved and then filled with a lacquer stick.
Okay. So, you know, beautiful little capsule, nice shape, proportions are really nice, and your top is great. Here's another one from Todd. This just blows me away. It's just absolutely so creative. He mounted pins vertically in resin, and that's an original idea, right?
Right.
And that is,
I've searched the web and all the AEW stuff. And there's people that have done, things with pencils, like drill a hole and stick a pencil in and things like that. But as far as I know, no one makes a log of pencils and turns things out.
I've never seen anything like that. That's super creative. A signature piece. So that is really, really...
What'd you finish that with?
You know...
that's just oil. Or wax, I should say. Wax. I like the basic shape. I'd probably do a smaller type of finial or smaller top on it. The base, I notice, is not finished.
Not yet.
Oh, is this you? Okay. So you're going to come back and finish the bottom?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, I like to see a finished bottom that has some detail and a nice engraving, and maybe concave. This has a great top, though. It has a pop top. It's beautiful. So in thickness, I probably would take this a little thinner inside, but as far as the shape and the top, once the base is finished, that'll be a really nice piece.
And what's the wood?
That's cedar. Oh, that's gorgeous. Yeah, that's a pretty piece. Very nice. And I like your curve here. And
I thought that
I guess I missed it. What kind of wood?
Cedar.
Cedar.
I was focusing on the fit of the lid. That was really it.
Yeah.
But I didn't like the curve at the top. I thought it came in way too flat on me.
Yeah, this is a little aggressive here on the curve, so it could have come up a little softer. And but it's nice. I mean, it's a pleasing appearance. This one, I like this piece. This reminds me of a Hawaiian style, the low profile calabash. This is kind of a Hawaiian style bowl. I would probably have more lift here and make your curve start coming in a little, maybe 2/3, 1/3. So this probably is a little heavy, bottom heavy. Would need a little more lift, up 2/3, 1/3 in. I was always
That's
taught.
what most of them look like.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. Well, this was an attempt to do it different, and it was much harder
Okay.
because getting around that inside curve
Yeah.
and keeping it consistent was tough.
Well turned. It's nice and thin all the way down.
Did you were imitating something or?
Well, Ray talked about the calabash bowl,
Okay.
and he said the way calabash bowls came about.
Yeah,
You heard the story.
Yep.
He says people would sit around the fire on their logs or whatever, and they'd take their food out, set it back on the sand, and kick it over to the next guy.
Well, actually, it would have a round bottom, and they would sit around and take poi,
Right.
pull it toward them, and then it would roll back because it had a round bottom.
Oh, it would roll back.
Yeah, it would
Okay.
roll back, so it actually teetered on a nice round bottom.
Okay.
That's the
Okay.
Hawaiian calabash. But the Hawaiian turners, they say, oh, bring it up to a fine edge. You know, this edge here,
Yeah.
they want to have this as a fine edge. And so with sanding, you don't have to turn it to a fine edge, but through your sanding, you can actually take a piece of sandpaper and fold it over and just hit it so you don't generate a lot of heat, but just gradually bring this to a fine edge here. And that gives it a nice look. So, and an 80-year-old Hawaiian, he'd say, oh, bring it to a fine edge. We want a fine edge.
What was
And
the
I just-
advantage of the fine edge?
Just the way it looked,
It looked.
and the tradition of it.
Aesthetics, basically.
Yeah. Let's see, we got this. I like the bottom. This is a very nice bottom. Whoever took
That's
the
me
time
again.
to make the bottom. Is this your ground?
No.
I thought that
You?
was yours.
Okay.
You did one like that.
I think it works.
Some
You
of
know,
that's what yours.
No, I did
I
one.
think it works. It's pretty. It's low profile.
We all
I think you can get away with the sharp angle. It's well proportioned. The weight is a little heavy, but it's fine. I think.
I just didn't want to go any deeper on the
Yeah,
bottom because of
But we were making.
the recess.
At the workshop.
They
it
all
was the
were
platters-
like that.
Well, it was because we were making a large platter on a small lathe. And so if that had been, twice the diameter that it is, it would have been perfect.
Right.
So we were getting the proportions and everything right as though it were a big thing, but we were working on small lathes.
Okay.
So we had to deal with what we had to deal with.
Yeah. Okay. I like it. It's a pretty piece. Very pretty.
One thing I really learned from Ray that helped me is I was having a heck of a time with some fuzzy end grain on the inside of that curve.
Right.
His idea about using a paste wax on your
Yeah.
sandpaper,
Lifts the grain.
wow.
Yeah,
It
you
makes
clean it.
such a
Clean it
I
right up.
had no idea that made such a difference.
Yeah, that's neat.
So what do you do? You get paste wax right on your sandpaper?
Yeah,
That's it?
just dip it in a little bit on the lower end grains.
Yeah. It has a couple advantages. It lowers the
Keeps the
dust too. And heat.
Yeah, it lowers the dust, doesn't get hot, you can get aggressive.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
This has a beautiful bottom. I keep losing it. This has a beautiful bottom. Joe took the time to finish that bottom and sign it. It's really pretty.
That's a great idea for that
It's really
small thing.
creative. I mean, I've never seen anything like that.
Rocky
It's-
Road milkshake?
Great.
the top just fits right in there.
That's a very low calorie milkshake.
Yeah.
High five.
I love people that experiment and are creative, and that is very creative. So, interesting. So then we have a depth gauge. I'm not sure who made the depth gauge, but that is really cool.
Alcoholic beverages.
Who made the depth gauge?
I stole
Is
that
that
idea from Mike Stafford, and he was talking about, he had one like that, and he said he wanted to make one with a hole through the middle so he could put the measuring stick in it when he traveled. And
Yeah,
take
that's
it
actually
room in his toolbox
You can store it in there
and store it in there, and you don't lose
and lock it down. Yeah. That's
very cool.
I like that a lot. That's really nice. I'd like to have more of those. But that's really nice. So, whoa, beautiful. Okay. Thank you.
Good.
My pieces over here, they didn't
You
have that
wanna-
sign on.
Okay.
You want your pieces?
Just
Mr.
I
Logan?
didn't see that sign.
I remember liking it.
It's a little tiny bowl, but it started out to be a lid. But I had a jar that was my mother's, and I don't know where the lid to it went years and years ago, but it was a pretty shaped glass jar. I thought I could make a lid for that with a little finial on top of that. It would be so cute. And it was horrible. And it turned out okay as a bowl. But see, this is where my finial base was going to fit.
Did
and
you,
so I had
did you do a
little-
second try on it?
Not yet.
All right.
But see, John wants to criticize the bottom of the bowl, but really that's where my finial is supposed to fit for the top.
Okay. Maybe you
So,
saved
sorry.
It. Saved it. No, that's
And
fine.
this is where all this was an effort to follow the curve on the inside.
That's pretty. Wow, you did a nice job on the inside.
Stiff it. Do you know what kind of wood that is?
I have no idea.
Is it
Oh.
camphor?
Is that
I don't think it's
camphor?
quite camphor.
It's
No,
something.
it's not
It's not
camphor.
It's
quite
kind of
camphor.
like sandalwood or something.
No, it's
I don't know. I don't
And
recognize
the little
it.
finial thing is
Yeah, you
pear.
recognize that wood smell? I don't recognize it. Not
It's
sure.
from China.
Oh, is it from China?
Chinese wood.
I think it's
We were,
Chinese woods.
it may not be really Chinese wood, but we were in Home Depot one day, and they had some dowels, and they had these big square dowels that were like 2 and something by 2 and something square. And I said, look at these silly things. What would you do with a dowel that big and it's square?
Yeah.
And I picked it up, and I could smell it, and I thought,
it might be
I've
sandalwood.
got to have this.
Yeah.
And so I bought several sticks of it, and I've been
Okay.
making things out of it. I just love the smell, and when you're turning it,
Yeah.
you can smell it, and it just comes
Sure.
perfect.
Where did you get
I'll
it?
show you
Home
one more.
Depot,
I'll show you one
Dowels
more. Oh, is it this?
section.
I was just gonna
Oh,
pull these
yeah,
up.
okay. Yeah, okay, great.
Let the owners talk about it.
Yeah,
First,
sure.
Andrew.
Yeah, right, that's a piece I got from a friend of mine in Henderson. He cut down a crab apple in his backyard, so I talked him into giving me a log off of
It's pretty.
it. It's not much real wood there.
Not much real wood. A lot of bark and some it's lean, right? Anything to say?
Maple,
Maple? It's nicely finished inside. Not this piece.
Oh, that's,
How many numbers are on that?
no, what happened was I was burning those things on the side, and I was impatient, so I changed the belt and increased the speed, and I wasn't cutting, but I brought it because I didn't realize it. I always thought all my problems when you're cutting, you'd catch and it would explode, but I didn't realize they exploded just by spinning. And so this thing went all over my shop. So I put it back together, and now it sits in front of my lathe as a reminder.
Were you using a wire?
Yeah, I'm just holding it on.
Okay, okay. Well, try Formica for burning a line. You won't have that problem where the wire, you have to push so hard.
Wait, yeah,
You don't have to push so hard.
okay.
Just a piece of Formica, you know, this little sample
That's
you
your
get.
starting groove and the stick piece of my.
And you can go on that, because it's hard to hold a wire.
Well, it was taking
But
forever.
Formica,
And
no
I just
problem.
cranked it up to 3,000.
No problem at all.
I think I don't know, I probably went too aggressive.
Yeah, that's an exotic piece of wood from Hawaii. It was a gnarly Milo piece, and Milo is not commercially harvested. You have to get it off of somebody's property or a down tree somewhere, but it's very hard to find Milo, and it's just a wonderful medium grain. It's red, really red when you first turn it, and as it ages, it turns kind of a rich red color. It's a gorgeous wood. It's very hard to find.
Let's finish.
It's tung oil. It's a tung oil blend, yeah.
That's beautiful.
That's maple. I got that on Hillsborough Street. There were some tree trimmers that had blocks on the curb, and I pulled over and I said, "Hey, what are you guys going to do with that wood?" They said, "Well, I don't know. You want some?" I said, "Yeah, please." So I just threw it in the back of the car. Just a maple hollow vessel. And this was a 4x4 cypress that I just happened to come across. And I thought, that'd be cool to turn a tall piece and see if I can hollow it out inside. So it's just a tall 4x4 cypress.
It's like southeast cypress. It was
Like a fence post?
white cypress or something. Just fence post.
Just fence post cypress, yeah. Just common
Did you get
cypress.
pictures of these?
Yeah.
All right, good.
Just fun to turn. Just different.
All right, that's all on the gallery.
Good shapes.